Cynthia is a home-based case manager at Community Alternatives Unlimited, CAU, where she has worked for 4 years. And Joe is a 25-year-old young man who recently moved into his own apartment. I heard Joe and Cynthia presented another seminar last fall, organized by Lori Giroux. I'm not sure if she's still here to get the credit for that. But I immediately knew I wanted them to tell this story at our summit because it's something I was completely unaware of and so great for someone who's capable of more independent living. So please help me welcome Joe and Cynthia.
I am Joe. I'm 25 years old. I love Boston and their sports teams. I've been diagnosed with autism. I also struggle with anger management, and I now have my own apartment with access to everything in the community. Oh yeah, sorry. How did I get the spot in my life? You might ask. Well, let me tell you. I graduated from the transition program at the age of 21 back in 2012. I was awarded the home base waiver on 6/15/12 in order to help me become more independent. I continue to live with my mom in her condo.
And that's where I come in. I'm Cynthia Foster, and I'm Joe's ISA case manager from Community Alternatives Unlimited, our ISC agency. I met Joe on our very first ISA home visit in 2012. Can't believe it's been that long already. His team that included Joe, myself, his mom, and the service facilitator set up his home-based ISP, his plan, with a hope to work on goals to help him more independent. His goals consisted of taking public transportation, balancing his bank account, and how to respond appropriately when upset.
I started attending the day program at Getz Clearbrook on 10/8/2012. Clearbrook also provides my service facilitation. I work on assembly jobs and had multiple trainings to prepare for work in the community. I have been attending the Kenneth Young Center for Behavioral Support since 2001. I go to Kenneth Young for counseling and group therapy at least once a week. After 2 years. After having the home-based program and going to the Getz for 2 years, I was ready for the next step. To move out on my own. I asked Cynthia to update my funds to reflect that I need a different living situation as I was struggling with my behavior while living with my mom. I love my mom, she's great, but I need to be more independent. On March 28, 2014, I got a letter from DHS that I had been selected for SILA funding thanks to Ligas consent decree. It was great news, right? Not quite. I couldn't find an appropriate living arrangement no matter how hard we all looked. The northwest suburb area to stay close to my mom and family, to be able to stay in all my activities, to be able to continue to attend Getz, where I was now working in the community. I needed my own room and space, the less number of people to live with, the better, and we found nothing. After I was selected to apply for SILA funding, we looked everywhere for a place that fit what I wanted. I looked at a couple of places, but they were way too far away from where I wanted to live. Those homes also had several guys living there, and they seemed nice, but they didn't like doing the same things as me. We just couldn't find the right fit. It just so happened that a spot opened up in the TLP program, which is the therapeutic program at the Kenneth Young Center after 4 years of waiting. It is a 2-year program, and I decided to try it out, so I moved into an apartment with a housemate. It's a therapeutic program that taught me how to live on my own, paying bills, transportation, cleaning, cooking, laundry, and how to solve housemate issues. I moved into TLP on September 27th of 2014. What I liked about it was my first time being independent. My therapists were close. I learned a lot about how to take care of myself. What didn't work for me, there were really strict rules. I didn't like having a housemate. There were meetings every Wednesday no matter what you already had planned for the day. There were monthly apartment inspections. Unfortunately, in March of 2015, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. She underwent treatment and had to move with my aunt and uncle. The TLP program is only a 2-year program, and now with my mom sick, we really need to find a place to live.
Meanwhile, back at CAU, time continued to pass, and there still weren't any SILA openings available for Joe that fit all of his criteria. On May 6th, 2015, over a year after having gotten the Liggis letter, I got an email from Lori Baker, the statewide housing coordinator, letting us know about the Section 8 apartment that was open in Arlington Heights through the statewide referral network. I sent her an email immediately to see if it would be a good fit for Joe. Quick note on the statewide referral network. The statewide referral network links vulnerable populations who are already connected to services to affordable, available, supportive housing. Social service providers assist eligible individuals in their name on the waiting list. Okay, so this is a lovely program that connects us to all those Section 8 houses that are available for people with special needs. They do want you to have supports because they want to make sure that everybody's going to be as successful as possible. Our application was a simple paper one at the time, but now they have a lovely website version. The waiting list manager verifies eligibility, and when the statewide referral network unit becomes available, they match it to one of the waiting list participants. Right now, if you go onto that website, and you can go onto that website as a parent, you can see which houses or which apartments are currently available and work through the statewide referral network. She said yes.
Lori Baker thought it might be perfect opportunity for me. I filled out the Home First Illinois application with the help of Cynthia, my ISA, and sent it back right away. It was approved, and I was connected with Wileen of Home First Illinois, who set up the apartment tours. On 6/19/2015, we went to see the apartments complex, and I got to choose which one I liked best. The apartments were really nice, clean, and new. They all had been updated with new carpet, kitchen, and everything was freshly painted. God. There's a pool and a playground. Cynthia was jealous.
Yeah.
Well,
Way better than my first apartment.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
have
right. There's a picture of the air. That's his pool. I'm not at all bitter. No.
Oh, I didn't get to use it.
Here's an example of one of the kitchens and the master bedroom. It had actually been renovated so that it was handicap accessible. So for poor Joe, we did have to take the microwave and put it on top.
Yeah.
He's a little too tall for that one, but example
Yeah,
bathroom,
probably.
everything had all of the safety precautions in place. It was beautiful, nice and clean. The living room, and then there's actually a patio. Each one of the places has a little patio.
Deck.
Yep.
Okay.
Heck.
Yeah. Housing Authority, Cook County. The next step was to apply and interview for Section 8 housing through Housing Authority of Cook County. On July 13th, 2015, I went downtown Chicago for the interview. The interview was just a few questions, then the man explained the rules and regulations of the program, and that was it.
The guy that explained it was really nice, and we only got lost going there one time.
Well,
Proud of myself.
We went to the wrong elevator.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe twice. Way to keep me honest, Joe.
Approved for Section 8. We found out I was approved for Section 8 funding, which uses 30% of my income, which for right now is just Social Security income. On July 30th, 2015, Wileen came over and I signed the lease for my apartment and got the keys.
And Wileen is from the Home First Illinois, and what I didn't realize is that both Section 8 and Home First Illinois take care of some of the cost of his apartment. So Joe, how much is your rent?
$66.
$66 a month is what Joe pays.
Moving day. On August 3rd, 2015, I moved into my very first apartment, and thank you to everyone that helped me get this apartment. Now you guys show a picture of my actual apartment.
Yes, this is his actual apartment. He's like, yeah, when it looks clean. I may have helped with a little decorating for Joe. I have to say, for being a 25-year-old male, he does a really good job of keeping it clean. I'm impressed. Better than my husband would, that's for sure. He loves Boston. There's his kitchen. I'm going to tell it. So I came over to visit one day, and it was really warm in there, but it smelled really good. And I'm like, Joe, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm cooking a chicken. And I'm thinking, like, reheating fried chicken or something from KFC? No, there's an entire whole chicken in the oven. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, actually, it's been 2 hours. I have to turn it down, and then I need to salt it and do this. And then I bag it up and use it for the rest of the week.
And your husband?
Oh, geez. My husband wouldn't even be able to figure out how to read the directions on Google. But I was really impressed. Like, his mom and I were a little concerned as being a young man, and he's doing awesome. We're so proud of him.
Nice.
His bedroom.
But it's actually clean.
And the restroom.
Yeah.
And being prepared. Over the couple of months this process took, we worked closely with Lori Baker and the ISP team to make sure that Joe would be successful in his new apartment. Everyone from myself, the service facilitator, Lori, Joe, his mother, and Wileen from the Home First Illinois, and Brandon, that's the guy from HAC that was very, very nice and understanding. He was great. They were in constant communication with each other. And it truly was a team effort. And thank goodness for Lori Baker, because she was wonderful in helping us navigate this unknown process. Services in place. So currently Joe has the home-based, which includes myself, and then the service facilitator, and then he has 37 hours of support from his personal support worker a month, as well as the DT program. He also receives therapy and counseling from the Kenneth Young Center, and his new apartment is actually within walking distance of one of the Kenneth Young drop-in offices. Joe is able to attend the GETS DT program. He is close to his aunt and uncle's house, where his mom is currently staying.
I gotta reapply for Link card.
And he just reminded me we have to reapply for the Link card. And he also does take really good advantage of some of the local food pantries.
The fun stuff that I do. I am able to still participate in all my sports, like basketball, powerlifting, and my league bowling, and I'm also doing soccer this year and going back to floor hockey. I do that with the help of my friends and family for transportation. With my personal support worker, I'm able to get around the community to do fun things and to also take care of important things like bills and groceries. My favorite things about living independently, I get to enjoy my front deck. I look forward to using the pool. I make my own rules, I make my own schedule, and I get to make my own decisions. It's a choice.
Do you know someone who might also be successful in this setting? If so, please contact your ISA and or service facilitator and ask them if they could please put your loved one on the statewide referral network. Now, when you go to approach your ISA or service facilitator, there's a possibility they may not know what this is. If you want to provide them with the website and Lori Baker's name, she could help them through the process, because we're the first ones that went through the process, and he's the very first person that was placed in the state of Illinois using this process. So if they don't know what you're talking about, it's okay. Relax. All they have to do is read the on-screen directions, and they'll be able to put your loved one on the list. We wish everybody the best of luck, and if you're interested to see what housing options are currently available, you can view them at any time on that website right there.
Great information. Thank you so much. Hey, Joe, you're going to get some questions on how to make a chicken. I know it. Do we have any other questions for Joe and Cynthia?
To access the housing for the certificate on the list, do you need funding through funds, or is this something separate from that?
My understanding is you do need some sort of support. So if that is through the Medicaid waiver, whichever Medicaid waiver you may have, that might be enough support. That's a question you can ask Lori Baker, because she also has other programs in the works for those that are in different situations. She's been working really hard to come up with some different ideas for all of our kiddos.
First, congratulations, your new place looks great. It really, really does. How did you know to find this? Did you just stay up all night Googling things, or how did you, I mean, there's so little in the state of Illinois. This is a real
key find.
Yeah, it is. Actually, Jennifer Rucka, who's right over there, she forwarded me this email from Lori Baker, and it just said, I think it was labeled like handicapped accessible apartments through Section 8.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's obviously very physically okay. So it said there were 6 apartments in Arlington Heights, which is exactly the area he wanted to be, that were available. And I called her up and I was like, Lori, he's not in a wheelchair, but we really, really need a place to live. Really. And her response was, good, because these apartments have been open for over 2 years and nobody has applied. So Lori Baker has been the one who has taken those type of things that we don't know exist, and she's finally sending them to all of us so that we can use them. So, example, when an apartment building builds, they have to leave aside a certain percentage of those places that are handicap accessible. Well, that goes the same for Section 8 housing. When you have a Section 8 housing apartment complex, you have to set aside a certain number that can be used for people with disabilities. So Lori has now been our little connector to get us all informed that those are out there and they're waiting to be used.
How many other people in that building are using the same thing? Are you the only person?
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the only person in that specific building. If you saw, there were 4 different buildings.
There's
and
only
so,
2 buildings though, 22, 14, 22, 26 are the only 2.
that are Section 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like those
Out
units.
of all 4 of them? Only 2
Yes.
of them are Section 8?
Yes.
So that's the equal part, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but only certain units.
And only certain units, and they are mixed throughout. And you always see like kids running around playing in the playground and your elderly folks taking a walk. It's just your normal average community.
Nosy neighbors.
What's that?
Nosy neighbors.
Oh yeah, nosy neighbors, he said. That's kind of what they do.
Is that site for people only with disabilities, or do you find the house and then tell them you have a disability?
It is both for people with disabilities and for the aging.
This site is only for disabilities and aging?
I believe so.
Because I put Section 8 in my neighborhood and it's not as sweet as all this.
There are some superior Section 8, I'm not gonna lie.
That and the people they bring in
Right.
sometimes.
We did get to go and look and.
Sure.
So-
So this is for aging and disability?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question. Did Lori say what the capacity was, or the amount of housing capacity there is on that site? So, you know, if there's 5,000 people looking, is there only 1,000 available, or?
She has told me that she's actually trying to get more apartments on this list at all times. Last time I looked, there were still things available. So at this point, there doesn't seem to be the long waiting list. It seems to be just trying to find one that's in your area that you like. For example, there are quite a few that are all the way in southern Illinois, I think.
By East St. Louis or something.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want to go in the cornfield. And then there were some downtown. He's like, yeah, no.
Humboldt Park.
Yeah, Humboldt Park, yeah. He's like, no. So they're all over the place, and right now there doesn't seem to be a big long list of people, but you can sit on there and wait until there's one that opens up in your area. And if you're on that list, that manager will actually send the ISA or the service facilitator a little email that says, hey, we found a great apartment in your area that has 1 bedroom, just like you asked, for Joe. Is he interested? So if there's something on there or not on there and you're still waiting to find it, it might pop up later. And if you're already on that list, then you'll be first to know.
Any last questions? How about a big round of applause for Joe? Well done.